Welcome to episode 21 of Hair Biz Radio with your host Zakiyrah and
Mikey.
And today we have a special guest hanging out with us today, Miss Coco White. She is the department head of hair at Tyler Perry Studios here in Atlanta, and she is also a salon owner of the Four Elements Salon Boutique. How's it going today, Coco?
It's going wonderful. I'm just so happy to be here today.
Yes, we're
Coco,
excited to
big
have
time
you.
over here. I like those. You listen to those credentials twice.
Oh, man.
Coco,
Oh,
big
man.
time over here.
Oh, yeah. So, Coco, how long have you been here in Atlanta working at Tyler Perry Studios?
Ooh, It's crazy because you would think that all the accomplishments that I've been through, that I've been here a long time. I only been here since 2014.
Ooh,
Yeah.
like 4 years, going on 4 years. So where are you
Yeah.
originally from?
Louisiana, Shreveport.
Louisiana. So is that where you started your hair career?
Yes, it is.
So how did you get started in the hair industry? Like, what was the inspiration behind getting into the hair industry, doing hair, working with beauty? What was that like?
Well, I consider myself as a mutt when I tell you this. It may sound funny because not too many people know my background until now. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in Jamaica.
Oh,
And
cool.
then,
Shout out to Jamaica.
Yes. So I ended up moving to Louisiana when I was 15. So my inspiration actually came from New York, from my mother, you know, a couple of my aunts and things like that, where they was very creative, you know. And when I saw that creativity, that's what caught my attention, you know. So when I moved to Louisiana, it came back. And I started going to beauty school to where, well, before I went to beauty school, the crazy thing is I had a chick that did my hair. Oh, I thought I was the bomb. Well, she did my hair, and I didn't know how to take it out. I called her. You remember back in the day when they used to have pay phones?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I used to text her, never answer. I called on the payphone, never answer. Okay, I'm going to figure this out. And you guess what it was? Bonded. Bonded glue.
Wow.
So, you know, I had a couple of patches.
Uh-huh.
And ever since that day, I said, never again. Never again. I want to do this myself. So when it came to picking up the abstract of colors and stuff like that from New York, that's what came to my creativity. And I just decided to be myself. I decided to say, okay, let me figure out how to be able to bond the glue. How to put the tracks without pulling my hair out. And it went from that to doing other people's hair to me saying, okay, let me go to beauty school. Let me really go into intact of how to embellish my career a little bit more. Yeah, went to a little mom and pop store, you know, beauty school back home in Louisiana. I loved it because, the life of a country is amazing, you know. And from there, it took its course. You know, I have friends that was just telling me, you know, this is you. This is your passion. You know, you don't just touch people hair, you touch people's heart. Because I like to talk to people while I'm doing their hair. You know, I let them feel good. I don't just do their hair. I make them understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of my clients like to come back to me. That's why a lot of my celebrity clients like to come to me, because I make them feel at peace. You know? So, yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Definitely.
So when it comes to hairstyling, you know, some stuff they teach you in beauty school, some stuff they don't. So what were some of the things that you self-taught yourself when it comes to hair?
Braids. Oh, I have a little girl. Well, she's not little now. She's 20. But at that time, braids was like my biggest thing. I used to know how to braid my hair from back of my head all the way to the top of my head. And then when it came to having my child, yeah, her braids started like the mid part of her head all the way to the back. So, you know, but she wore it proudly with her bow and everything. But that was like the most difficult thing. But I wanted to know it. I wanted to know the pattern, how to crisscross it, how to make it neat, how to make it go in different designs, abstract. That's my thing. I add in color, add in the extension to it. All that became my passion. And actually, that passion is what got me landed where I'm at now. at Tyler Perry Studio, you know?
Gotcha. So what has that experience been like working at Tyler Perry Studio?
My.
What year did you start at Tyler Perry Studios?
When I got here.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. As soon as I stepped down in Georgia in August, I got my first call in December. Yeah,
that's amazing.
And at that time, I was only what they call a day player, where I go on set and I help assist with the additional people that plays background and things like that. And I networked. I talked to people, but there was one particular lady, and she know who she is. Her name April Parker that played Natalie on If Loving You Is Wrong. Oh, that's my sweetheart. That's my baby. But she caught my attention in the hallway. Natural hair, beautiful. And she was the one that actually looked at me because of the fact that the natural hair with the braids, like you were saying, the natural hair, braids, just different type of textures and stuff like that I love playing with. She, that's what she does. That's what she is. So me doing that with her hair actually landed me being her personal. And me having that soft touch and things like that, that's what allowed them to want to still be around me. You know what I'm saying? So from years going, being at TP, working with Mr. P, oh, my God, it's amazing. It is amazing. I've met so many other different people working with him.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. From Oprah to, I'm trying to see. There's a lady, Miss Crystal Fox. She's like well-known actor, but not too many people know her because a lot of people try to gravitate to the newer people now. But Crystal Fox, Stephanie Mills, oh my God, I remember my mom used to be in the kitchen playing Stephanie Mills while I'm in the back dancing and sweeping. So, you know, and I'm her personal hairstylist. So it's like, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
It's a cycle, you know?
So we have a lot of people in our hair business group that we have on Facebook, and some of them are, you know, just getting started with their hair business or just getting into the hair industry. And, you know, maybe they haven't made a sale or they haven't gotten clients within like the first month, and they're like going crazy. You know, you didn't just fall out of the sky at Tyler Perry Studios. So talk about some of the obstacles that you went through from the time where you maybe started beauty school and was in Louisiana to the time you got out here and actually landed Tyler Perry Studios. Like, talk about some of those obstacles that you had to go through, because you didn't just, you know, come here like, I'm here.
Oh, gosh. Ooh, that's a journey that I went through. It was a journey. And actually, I can give you points of that. But what I do love is I would love for people to come out on Sunday the 25th and actually hear the full story.
Yeah.
But talking about it makes me not want to cry, you know?
Yeah. It's okay, girl.
'Cause it's,
A lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people will see you kind of here.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot in business is they just see people here and they don't realize, you know, it could have been 5, 10, 15 years.
Right.
And really all the stuff you go through, you know, like a lot of times.
They don't know what the struggle is that you go through to get where you need to go, you know? But when I realized that I had a daughter that was mimicking and looking at other people as their role model, that's when my eyes opened. And that's when I had to show her, I'm your role model, you know? Let me show you a good path. Let me show you the dream that you have in your head. Let me show you that dream. But you got to be open to understand, you know?
Yeah. And
that's why I said it's a journey. Because going through beauty school, I was doing beauty school and working at night from 7 to 7 in the morning, and then go to beauty school from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening, and never get a chance to see my daughter. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's
Take your time.
Yeah. This is what people want to see. Like, people want to see the transparency.
This is the first time we're talking about it.
No one goes through and gets anywhere, and like no one ever gets to say that it was easy.
Yeah.
Like everyone thinks it's going to be easy, and we always recommend doing certain things kind of in our.
It's not easy at all.
We always recommend certain steps that people have to take in business, right? And I can tell you, like our team works really, really hard to help build people up, training, this, that, the other. And people were like, hey, use common example, okay, is why I'll let you kind of breathe a little bit. I'll let everyone is like, people always want to know, everyone wants their own website to sell hair, right? So everyone's like, we always tell, because we've gone through it, we've launched more hair websites than anyone in the world at this point. Okay, we always say, stick to WordPress. Here's why. Stick to WordPress. And it's the same story, like, just do this. But then people will be like, oh, you know, I know they said go with WordPress, but I went to Wix, or I did my website on GoDaddy, or I did my website on Squarespace, because it's easier. And it's like, easy is not always the best path.
Exactly. No, it's not.
And you have to understand that there's going to be certain things in life that's going to be a struggle.
It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. You have to embrace the struggle and say, this is just, this is part of the process. The way I'm going to get here is, I know I have to take step 1, 2, and 3. Those are going to be real hard. I have to maybe educate myself a lot. It's not going to happen overnight before I can get to the next processes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you said something, you say you don't talk about it. That's why you're getting so emotional. And I work with a lot of young ladies. And one thing that I tell them is that, you know, when you don't share your journey, or when you don't share your story, you're either taking away the healing of someone else, or you're delaying their destiny, because they can't get to where they're supposed to get to without the story that you have to share. So that's why I'm super excited that you're going to share that story on the 25th, because all the women that are going to be at that brunch need to hear this story. Even, you know, people on our live right now, you know, there's some women sitting at their house now, like, they probably crying with you. Like, man, that was me.
I'm sorry,
you know?
I'm a little baby.
That was me. So I'm super excited that, you know, you're going to talk about it. But, you know, let's talk about the brunch that's going on March 25th, you know, Legacy of Beauty. I know Kel's the stylist, yourself, and then Crystal Jordan of Enchanted PR. You guys got together and wanted to create this brunch for women in the beauty industry. So what are some things that the women there can look forward to taking away from you?
One, I'm going to give them information that I need them to understand, that don't give up. You know, if you have a dream, let me explain this. And this is something that you wanted me to kind of say when it came to Louisiana. I was the same lady that was like you, sitting in front of my TV watching every movie of Tyler Perry's studio, right? Every hairstyle, every aspiration, every goal that everybody else have. But it wasn't mine, you know? And exactly what I said, I see it in my child on the side that actually is using other people as role models. That's not. So it's like, okay, what can you do? Do you want to sit on your couch and be sobbing about it? Or do you want to make something about it? Do you want to let her know there's more to life than just sitting here? And that's what I did. I got up. I did the same thing. I made a sacrifice. I went to school, went to work, you know, lost sleep, lost time. But in that process of me doing that sacrifice, it gave me greater, because I gave happiness to my kids. It wasn't about hairstyling, and it's not about Tyler Perry Studio. It's about what you want to put into yourself, how much love you have for yourself. Once you gain that love, everything else comes in play. So when I come to realize that I had somebody watching, and it was a young man and it was a young woman, I had to put myself in the shoes of a queen to let her know, hey, this is how a queen's supposed to be. Hey, let me show you how to be a king. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I decided to make the choice of $500 that I had left, get rid of a job that wasn't paying me nothing, and make my way to Georgia. My daughter wanted to be an actor. My son wanted to be a dancer. They both want to do parkour. They want to do, you know, all these different things that I'm like, okay, I can't afford it, but guess what? We're going to make it work. We'll go in the park and let's do it.
That's a mama's heart right there.
Exactly. So in the process of me doing that, while they jumping around, I have a mannequin head in front of me practicing. I'm using social media to network with people that I've never met. You know, you utilize your tools that you have in front of you and do it. Don't say I'm going to do it. And there was something I saw yesterday that a lady, I was doing her hair. I was doing some lock braids. And that's something I haven't seen a lot of people do lately. Do a to-do list. Write it down. What's your goals? What's your aspiration? What do you want to do? And that's what I did. But I did it back home in Louisiana. And I tackled it when I got here. Now I have my 20-year-olds on the side of me owning their own business. I have my 20-year-old on the side of me is being a boss at the Tyler Perry studio. She works with me.
Let's talk about baby girl. I know you guys kind of went into this business venture together, the Four Elements Salon Boutique. How was that, like having your daughter, start a business with you, working with you, doing makeup, you doing hair? What's that like?
She hustle harder than me. Sometimes I have to step my game up. Sometimes I have to look at her like, hold up, you trying to outdo my mom? Your mom?
A little family competition.
Right.
It is. And it's crazy because I went through a bad relationship too when I came here. And with the bad relationship, bad marriage, it made me stronger. Mm-hmm. And that strength allowed me to put more strength into my kids to understand, let's go, let's get it. Mm-hmm. So when she saw that, she started driving herself, her ambition to where she ended up finishing high school within a year before time because she wanted it. She wanted it bad. And as soon as she got out of high school, she ended up going to a school called the Omni Academy by Cherry makeup artist Manis. She went there and attend her makeup school, the Omni Makeup Academy. She went there, attend her school for makeup school. I told her, I said, what you want to do? She said, I want to do it with you. I said, let's do it.
Aww.
I paid the money. I went there. Even in my nightgown, I was in there in front of her, supporting her. Let's do it. Now, I don't care. I look like a clown, but I'm going to wear it, because it was her passion. Yeah. And even Cherry saw it. She's like, she's going to go far. I know. And I'm going to make sure she get there before it's time for me to go put my butt on somebody's beach water. Okay? So it's like that's my drive. It's my kids. They go hard, I go harder. Because I need them to understand you can do it. You don't have to be behind somebody's desk, or you don't have to work for somebody and feel like only 9 to 5 is your option. When you a business owner or when you trying to do for yourself, it's 24/7 like a parent. Understand that. If you, whatever, it could be in the hair business, it can be a daycare owner, it could be a shop owner, it could be anything. You just have to have a plan, write it down, and tackle each one by one.
Yep.
One by one. And that's what I'm doing with my daughter. But each day I'm showing her positive, putting sticky notes on the door. I love you, boo. I love you, honey. And she'll come back, I heard you. I love you too, boo-boo. So it's just the attitude to let her know this is how you're supposed to carry yourself when you're out and about. Carry yourself as a lady, because when you're doing their makeup, you want them to know you're not a baby. You're a woman, and you're a makeup artist, and you're professional. So I said, okay, you go into a shop and they don't want to treat you well because you're young. You're 17. Because she's been doing makeup for a while now, since she was 12. My best friend back home, Shira, was teaching her makeup since she was 12 years old.
Wow.
So, when I saw her was crying because somebody else didn't give her a chance, I said, okay, let's build your chance. How much money we have? Okay, you got $250, I got $300. Let's put it together. Let's see if we can put a deposit on a place that we can't afford. But we did it.
Yeah.
Because it was a step that we took.
So what was that process like of, getting into a salon? A lot of people say, like, I want to have my own salon. I want to do this. But they don't realize that it's a process to get a salon.
It's a process. And this is our first salon. This is my first business. And it is a
Congratulations.
process.
When did you guys open?
Technically, we had the place last year.
Okay.
We opened October the 21st. We had our grand opening, but unfortunately, 4 days later, I broke my foot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So when I broke my foot, it was a time that I had to stay down. I couldn't do nothing. I broke my foot on the set. So it kind of put a damper in her because she was like, man, okay, we're not going to be able to go, But with friends and family that I had around me, and I mean family that are not related, but it's been there, just like family. Stepped in. Come on, baby girl, you can do my face. Let's do this, That allowed her. I was on the scooter and riding around the city with her with a broke foot, passing out cards. Hey, you can do whatever makeup. I don't care who makeup is, but I'm going to be in there with you when you do it. And that's how that started, So it is a journey because getting the painting the walls we did ourselves, if you go in there, you'll see it's like our creation. It's a small boutique. It has a couch, it has how our station is set up looks like a dresser. It looks like a house. But it's It's small, but it's us. It's just us. It's just me and her. As you know, that's all she needs. Because in order for you to start off, you have to start on your own path to where you have to allow your own self to think. You know, when you have so many other people in your brains telling you what you can and cannot do, it's hard, you know. And that's why a lot of people have hard time starting their business, you know. And they don't have to. Don't listen to everybody else. Do for you. When you do for you, things come. Trust me, they come.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I always like to say, especially when starting a business, is, you know, anyone about to start a business, they're going to look at their peers in the industry, right? And if you're just starting, you're on chapter 1.
Exactly.
Don't compare yourself to somebody on chapter 24.
No, you can't.
It's really going to mess you up.
And
Understand you have to go
Instagram.
through all those, the Instagram, the highlight reel, we call it here. You know, the highlight reel, like you have to go through all these chapters to get to 24. There is no shortcut.
Yeah.
Like everyone's
it's
looking
not.
for the
It's not a
shortcut. It's
shortcut
just
at
not
all.
there.
I tell you, I've lost and I've gained opening up a salon. I've lost and I've gained from where we were standing on ladders halfway upside down trying to put the baseboard, and my daughter actually making I call it a Picasso. She laughed at me. But she made this creation thing on the wall that just to show that she did something, you know. So it's like finding the dresser that don't cost too much, or the chair that, oh my gosh. The agony. Making sure that the business license is in order, making sure you get an LLC, making sure you contact, oh my God, it's so much. It is. But is it something you want to do? If that's your drive, you're going to do it regardless of how much time or patience how much time it's going to take, you know? And yeah.
So my question for you is this, right? Because a lot of people get stuck, and this is just through my journey of entrepreneurship, of like starting a business. Like, I'm just start something tomorrow because I've started so many, failed so many, some have gone good, some haven't, right? And it's like that beginning part of like the LLC, the business license, you know, your tax ID, blah, blah, blah. Like when you're first doing it, you're petrified, right?
Yes.
But think about this, right? Because when in the beginning you're petrified, but if you had to do it again, how much easier is it?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like
Yeah.
literally, right now oh my gosh. Our salon used to be the Four Elements Salon Salons and Spa, because we had someone was supposed to be doing massages and stuff like that, and that was my husband at the time. So since that didn't happen, we switched over, and that's when we came to Salon Boutique. And it was like the transition over, changing the name, doing the paperwork. I was like, oh, I'm done. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Right.
But the first time, it seemed like it took me a whole year just to understand from left to right.
Right.
I had to go back to the office at least about 5 or 6 times in one day, because it was something I kept forgetting, or I go back and I'm like, shoot, hold on. Oh, wait, the inspector? Oh, today? You know, it was so much of that. But yeah, by the second round, it was a piece of cake. It was like, okay, I got it. One day.
Yeah, a lot of people like in our group, because we love to, the one great thing about our group right as of today, I don't know, it's over 14,000 people. So there's tons of questions from new people to people with a lot more experience. But that's one of the things that people get really worried about is like, don't let having to register your LLC stop you from actually starting your business. Because when you look back at it now, 6 months, a year later, you like, oh my God, that was so easy, because my problems today are so much larger.
I do want one tip, because this was one of the mistakes that I did make. And it's a learning process. Every mistake is a learning process that allow you to see your blessings. We fixed the whole salon together first before we went and did the inspection and all the other stuff. I always suggest do all the paperwork first. Get the inspection, like once you get the building, let them do all the inspection, let them check all the crevices and the holes and the ding-dongs and, you know, let them get everything out the way and then be creative. Right. That's what I should have done when I first opened this business. And that was a learning lesson, because I said if I ever decided to open, well, that's in the making. But if I decide to go ahead and open up another salon, that's the first thing, so I can be able to get it done in 1 week versus, It took a minute. We've had this building over 2 years.
That's a good tip, though. Yeah, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, we're actually in the process. We're here at the 444 building, and we have I don't even know how many office suites we have here, but we bought. Yeah, we have a ton. Like we just can't stop getting them because we're growing so fast. But we actually we're very thankful. We got a strong team, but we just recently bought a building, and we're going through the same process now. Of it was already constructed, but the inside had to be done. So the electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all that stuff. First. Going to make it nice and plain for the inspectors and, the permit to be able to occupancy permit, blah, blah, blah. And then we can go in and everyone can add some color, a little creative, everything else, make it, make a little baller. So,
little baller.
Little baby baller. Little baby baller place. We worked hard. We deserve it.
A little baby baller.
Baby baller.
Not too crazy,
exactly.
But,
we'll put a budget together. Like, that's what I did. I put a budget together. I went a little bit over, but I understood what I wanted to get and what I couldn't get and what I can wait until I start rolling and then come back and get that. But I got the main things that need to be done, the main things that was a necessity, and then we took it from there, you see. So that's pretty much, a lot of people want to get everything in there and want to get everything started, but there's some stuff that you can kind of just slide and wait for a minute. And then, because it's like fear. When they get to that point, they're scared to open up because they're scared to say, okay, it's time. Because I felt that fear when I opened that door. And even though we had like 2 customers, it's okay. But it was that fear when they walked in. It was like, oh, okay, what we do now? And I've been in several salons, and I've been around other people. But when it's your own, oh, my God, it's just amazing. It feels good. So, yeah.
The one thing I like to tell people a lot is, especially when starting a new business, you're never going to launch it perfect.
I know,
right?
That first round is not perfect.
The first round, I mean, even if you're going to launch a second business, it's still not going to launch perfect. Your website's never going to be perfect. If you have a space, it's never going to be perfect. You might be missing, or want this, that, the other, but it's not worth the financial stress to get everything at once.
Yeah,
you gotta just appreciate, say, okay, let me just get to this next level, then we can get this. The next level, then we can get this, and then you get down the road. Because a lot of times the clients, it's about you, the person. So the glitz and glam of the space and everything else, it's not always that important.
Exactly true. Because while I was doing the client, a piece of our little thing off the wall just fell down. And I was like, okay. I said, girl,
don't worry about that.
Girl, that's supposed to do that. Don't worry.
We have a very active space here.
Exactly.
Very active, yeah.
I said it's the feng shui. It's just good energy. But also, too, like you were saying about website, I don't have a website. I'm still in process of getting a website because it's like so much is just coming at me at one time that I'm like, whoa, okay, I get this. Oh, okay. But guess what? I have a Schedulosity. There are free things that you can start off with until you can get to that space that you can get a website. They got Schedulosity. They have Style. See, there's ladies today still using that and don't have a website. Yeah. Or they have their own website and have that. So start off with your Schedulosity free. They give you about so much months to use, and you can be able to book your clients. So it's a lot of stuff that you can start off like that until you grow. Once you grow, then you go to the next level. Something that's more valuable to where if it helps your business. Like you're saying, the website. The website is a good valuable because they need to see your work. If you go on my Instagram, you're going to just see yoga. You're going to see healthy food. You're going to see maybe my kids. You're going to see my doggies, because I live a natural life. Yeah. But I also, my business, I still run it. But that's separate from my own life, And like I said, with the website, we start off with Schedulosity. And now I'm in process of getting that. But it takes time. When you open a business, it takes time. You're going to have some hiccups. You're going to have some falls. But you got to know that you got to keep getting back up. A lot of people get scared of their failures. Don't be scared of your failure. Use it as your fuel and allow yourself to move, because when I had broke my foot, that got me really bad because I'm like, okay, now I'm not going to be able to stand up. How long I'm going to be down because I'm not going to be able to make money. But guess what? I remember where I came from. I remember when I was sleeping in my car. I remember I had to hold my kids and sneak them in the building at my job just to because I couldn't afford daycare. I remember all of that. So guess what? Oh, I did a little hiccup. Let me get back up. I've been through worse situation. A little situation is fine. Don't go on Instagram looking at everybody and all you're doing is flipping. Use that. Use that Instagram tool. Okay, flip. Oh, that's beautiful. That her hair is pink. It's flowing. How did she do that? Let me check with this lady and ask her, does she do some classes? If that's not what you want to do, find your passion. Practice. Practice. I don't know how much times I stress about that. When you're born to nothing. Mm-hmm. You don't know nothing. You don't know how to speak. You don't know how to walk. You don't know how nothing. But you gravitate to the people that's around you and you see what they're doing and do the same thing, correct? So when it comes to hairstyling, makeup, or opening a business, you have to learn first. And you can't learn sitting in front of your couch. You can't learn by strolling on Instagram. If you're going to stroll on Instagram, use it as a note of your business. Okay, that's how I found her. I found Miss Crystal. That's how I found Kelts. Well, they reached out to me. But that's networking. Mm-hmm. But these are people I was following before they even knew me. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I use that tool because I was like, okay, I see how her graphic is. I like her graphic. I like that to be my logo. Let me reach out if she knows who I can talk to about the logo. Or let me go back through Instagram and find out anybody I know that does really good logo. That is in my budget. Yeah. Go by your budget. Don't try to be a millionaire in the next 2 days when you don't have it, Try what you have first. If you have a job that you're making $10 an hour, budget $5 each time you have your check. It's not much. $20, you take that away. That's what I did to get here. $500 I made up. Okay, there we go. That was after getting a truck, getting rid of the rest of the stuff, and trying to get the kids situated. And like, okay, let's get in this truck. All we have is your suitcase, my son's suitcase. Let's go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because when I moved here to Atlanta much longer ago, probably about 20 years ago, I'd recently turned 21. Mm-hmm. And, coming from my family background, we lived in a great area, but, similar situation so many people went through. Father just kind of left, never paid child support, started working when I was, 12, the whole thing. So, been an entrepreneur all my life. But I never forget when I moved down here, we rented a truck. Mm-hmm. I had sold as much as I could to get some money. Yep. I had some okay clothes. I had an old TV. I had a mattress. I didn't have a bed. I had a mattress.
I had a blow-up bed.
But a mattress I was happy with. I had $1,000 in cash, $1,000 in credit card debt. And that's what I came to Atlanta to work with.
But you came with a dream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
When you got here, look where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
You
and it's actually funny. Yeah. I started working in I came down here to go back to school, and I can't learn. I can learn very well in my own way, right? But in school, I could never do well in school. Mm. So I started working in restaurants because it's just easy money. You can hustle, working with people and talking to people all the time. And I was just really good at that. And pretty much anywhere I worked, I always made more than everyone else. And I also worked a lot more. I mean, my greatest week was, I'll never forget, it was 93 hours. Mm. That's 53 hours overtime in a week. Most people aren't going to go through that. Yeah. Right? But doing so, it gave me some power to understand that if I ever was in a really bad position and I had to go back to work 93 hours in a week, I could always go back and do it. Right? Mm-hmm. But it's funny that you're here because one of my clients that would come, I worked at this one breakfast restaurant that had a little sit-up bar. And one of my clients about 17 years ago was actually Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea who this guy was, right? Really nice guy, would come in, sit at the bar. He would have his keychain. I'll never forget it because he had all these different car keys. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, what's this dude got all these cars for? But I didn't know who he was. And he always needed an Arden's Garden juice, but we didn't have Arden's Garden juice, right? We didn't have Arden's Garden juice, so I would go next door. It used to be called Highland Bagel, I believe. This is in Virginia Highlands, and it's been gone for a long time. It's now Osteria or something. And I would go over there and buy the juice for him and come back over and serve him the juice.
Oh, that's amazing.
And he always took good care of me. I had, and he was obviously as big back then as he was. He was getting into the plays and, all that was successful for him, but not the movie side as big. But I had no idea who this guy was. And he was just really nice and always took good care of me. I took care of him, and it was just so great later when I would listen to the radio and you would hear Tyler Perry's new play or something on the radio. Because I looked at he would always pay it by credit card. I looked at Tyler Perry. I looked him up and I couldn't really find too much. It's a long time ago. And then to hear the radio and then to see the movie stuff and everything else, for me, those moments where I waited on him was always an inspiration for me that he came in there and he was doing well at that point, sure. But to where he is today, really incredible that
came a long way.
Yeah, he really touched me when I was young, and to see him kind of grow, it was just really incredible.
And he's an amazing man to work for. I used to hear so many bad stories before I even moved to Georgia, and it was so many bad stories. Oh, he treats his people wrong. He does this, and no, he does not. This man takes good care of us. He treats us like family. Literally, the place is like family. When we come back, we're like, hey, Coco, what's up? Hey, Coco, I'm not talking to you. You were supposed to call me. We were supposed to have lunch. That's how we do, because when we off work, a lot of us venture off on different shows and things like that. But when we come together at the Mr. Parrish studio, it's like family. And you'll see, you had the baby. I sent you some stuff. Did you get, all of that.
That's good, though.
Even if it's time where you get sick, he checks on you. Recently we had a death in at the studio. On the time that we was filming, he stopped filming just so we can pay tributes to that person. Everybody showed up to his funeral. And it wasn't about if we're going to get paid or none of that. We just wanted to be there. Yeah. Because like I said, it's family. We went there, even he showed up. And that's something that tells you it's real. When you have your director that remember your name, your first name, that's good. Mr. Perry, he will see you, he'll speak to you. He always do practical jokes on people. But he's something else when it comes to that part. But he really loves us people. He'll come to us and talk to us. Hey, is anything I need to change? Is anything new that you notice? Is anything that you need more or whatever? That shows care. That shows love. And that's why I love working there. And anytime we start up, I'm ready to go. It's a joy working with him. And it just, it's scary because he had a story too. I'm not going to go into his story. That's something he tells when you read his books and things like that. But he was the same way homeless. Yeah. And for him to get where he at, he used his fear and decided to take it to another level. And that's what I did. So it's every day that we go to Mr. Perry's studio, his drive and his ambition of his new upcoming projects makes me push even more. It makes me say, okay, guess what? I can do this next step, but I got to figure out how. And you got some people that's out there that don't want to help you. Yeah. Because they feel like they don't want you to take their joy. That's why it's I have to change something. That's not how that's supposed to be. Everybody, it's a lot of money out there to be made. Not everybody's supposed to be working a 9 to 5, like I said. There's people that want to be an entrepreneur, work for yourself, but you got to understand that's not a 9 to 5 job. That's 365 days. I get up at 4 in the morning. Okay, what I'm going to do on this computer?
That's Mikey. Mikey's on 1,028. Yes. All the time. He is on 1,000.
Yes.
I try, the tough part is when you have access to your team through social media and everything. I try not to message them after hours.
Mike will slide in my DMs.
Zakiyrah, look at this. I got an idea. Look at this. That, the other.
But you know what? I don't mind it.
And it's my friends now that I have here, they know that's me. Because I'm up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Like today, I was up early. Yeah. And that's the time that I feel like the city is asleep. And I can think more. I can think clearly. So I meditate, I'll do my yoga, and then as soon as I'm finished, I'm like, okay, what's next? Mm-hmm. And I'll get on the computer and I'll start doing stuff, and then I'll text somebody like, oh, Lord, here come Coco. It'll be 5 in the morning. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Wide awake.
Yeah, wide awake. My kids, it got to now that my kids, they used to it. They would walk past here, Mama, here's your water. And be asleep. But they know that's what time I get up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this has been amazing. Before we go, I want to talk about what you have coming up. Aside from the Legacy of Beauty event that I know a lot of women will get a lot from, all three of you ladies and everybody else that's going to be participating in the event. But
I'm even speaking there.
Yes, Mikey is making a guest appearance. He's going to be talking about marketing and building a business.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yet.
Mikey decides what he's going to talk about probably 5 minutes before
I'm going to
the
figure it
event
out. The
happens.
drive there, I'm literally going to be like, okay,
Is that
I need to, I'll just talk about this.
Look, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. I'm telling you, your natural ability of knowing things from what you experience is what you talk about. When you have to script it, you always forget something. And you always get to a part where you're like, oh, shoot, I should have said this.
Yeah. But the beauty of it is that it's your story.
It's
so
your
no
story.
one can tell you what's wrong. No one can tell you what's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I love to wing it.
Yeah, we know.
Zakiyrah knows I will wing about anything. But it seems to work.
Yeah. So what else do you have going on, Coco? What else is coming up?
Come April the 13th, me and my daughter supposed to be attending the Glam tour with Terrence Davis. Oh my God, I'm so ready for that.
Yeah, the Glamcation Mentors Retreat.
Yes,
that sounds like it's gonna be amazing.
Vacation. It seemed like I've been non-stop, but I need the vacation. I want to go feng shui.
So make sure you guys check out, what's your Instagram where people can follow you and get more information?
Oh yeah, I am Coco White. It's IAMCOCOWHITE. Coco White.
So make sure you guys follow Coco to get more information on all the events that she has coming up. And then as well, go check her out in Jonesboro at the Hair Boutique.
Hair Boutique, but hold on. Because like you were saying, we in process because I just got off my crutches.
Gotcha.
Just got through therapy, so now I'm twerking.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we about to launch off some new stuff. Me and my daughter have some good projects coming up. And one of the projects that I do have coming up, I will be wearing the unit at the brunch on Sunday.
Nice.
So yes, I do want to. This is not one of the units. This was throw this on, keep it moving. That's one of those. But I definitely want to explore a little bit more on the private labeling company as well too, because I do see the hair and I like it. I love it. But yeah, we do have some projects that's coming up, so we will be launching that off very soon. So if they, continue following me, they'll see a lot of the stuff on what's going on. Yeah.
Gotcha. So make sure you guys follow Coco at I Am Coco White on Instagram. Check her out, everything she has going on. We appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Very much
you definitely inspired me.
Oh,
yes, it has been a great conversation. I just love when we have guests come on and be able to share with our groups and everyone that's listening, because you can learn from everybody.
I'm just so happy to be here.
We're very open, transparent. We love sharing information. We really don't hold anything back. And to have our guests come on and do the same, it's very great for us. So we appreciate you, Coco.
Thank you.
And Zakiyrah, one other thing before we go.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe. Hair Biz Radio, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and one of these days I'm actually going to set it up for iHeartRadio and all the other places.
Yes.
Before Zakiyrah kills me. In 2018, I'm going to get it done. I have it kind of set up. I just have to finish it.
Yeah.
It's on the list. Oh, the list.
Well, thanks for joining us for episode 21 of Hair Biz Radio, and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.